There is something on your roof right now that your roofer has seen 100 times and never once mentioned to you, not because he forgot, not because it is complicated. Because the moment he explains it, the $3,000 invoice he was planning to hand you next spring becomes a $4 bag of powder from the hardware store and 8 minutes of your Saturday morning. What is sitting on your roof is not age. It is not weathering. It is not the natural deterioration of materials over time that every roofing brochure in America wants you to believe is inevitable and expensive to address. It is a living organism. It has a name. It is called Gloeocapsa magma, and it is a cyanobacteria that has been colonizing asphalt shingle roofs across North America for decades, while an entire industry built its recurring revenue model around treating the symptoms and never once mentioning the cause. I am Dr. Cole Ward. I spent 38 years as a licensed structural engineer. I have inspected somewhere north of 2,000 residential roofs in that time. I have signed off on new construction, assessed storm damage, reviewed contractor bids, and sat across the table from homeowners who had just been quoted between $1,200 and $4,000 to address something I knew cost less than a cup of coffee per square foot to prevent permanently. I retired. And retiring, I discovered, removes every professional incentive to stay quiet about any of this. So I am not quiet about it anymore. What I am going to walk you through in this video is not a trick. It is not a hack. It is documented material science that has been sitting in industry research archives since 1978, applied by commercial roofing operations for decades, and systematically absent from every piece of residential roofing literature you have ever been handed. There is a reason for that absence. We are going to get to that reason. But first, you need to understand what is actually happening on your roof. Gloeocapsa magma is a photosynthetic bacteria. It travels through the air as spores. It lands on roof surfaces and begins feeding on the limestone filler that manufacturers use as a binding agent in asphalt shingles. That limestone filler is not an accident of manufacturing. It is a deliberate component that adds weight, texture, and structural integrity to the shingle. It is also, apparently, an excellent food source for airborne cyanobacteria, a fact that shingle manufacturers have been aware of since at least the early 1980s. The bacteria forms colonies. Those colonies produce a dark, pigmented sheath around themselves as a protective mechanism against ultraviolet radiation. That sheath is what you are seeing when you look at your roof and notice dark streaks running from the ridgeline downward. Homeowners call it dirt. They call it mold. They call it age. Roofers call it normal and hand you a quote. What it actually is a biological film that is actively degrading the surface of your shingles in two distinct ways that compound each other over time. The first mechanism is direct. The bacteria consumes the limestone filler in your shingles. As the filler is broken down, the shingle loses structural mass. The granules that give asphalt shingles their texture and UV protection begin to detach. You have seen this if you have ever cleaned out your gutters and found what looks like coarse, dark sand collecting at the downspout. That is not debris. That is your roof surface disaggregating one bacterial meal at a time. The second mechanism is thermal. The dark biological sheath that the bacteria produces absorbs solar radiation at a significantly higher rate than a clean shingle surface. A roof colonized by Gloeocapsa magma runs measurably hotter than a clean roof under identical sun exposure. A 2003 study conducted by the Florida Solar Energy Center measured surface temperature differentials of up to 40 degrees Fahrenheit between algae-covered and clean shingle sections on otherwise identical roofs. That heat does not stay on the surface. It conducts through the shingle into the underlayment, into the decking, and into your attic. You are paying for that heat every month on your electricity bill and calling it summer. Your roofing contractor is calling it an opportunity. The University of Central Florida Department of Civil Engineering published a shingle degradation study in 2009 that quantified what this biological load costs in lifespan terms. Shingles under active Gloeocapsa magma colonization showed accelerated granule loss equivalent to 7 to 15 years of additional aging compared to clean control shingles under identical environmental conditions. A 30-year architectural shingle, left untreated in a humid climate with moderate biological load, performs like a 15 to 20-year shingle. The roofing industry is aware of this research. The Asphalt Roofing Manufacturers Association addressed algae growth in their 2012 residential care guide. They recommended professional cleaning and, for persistent cases, professional treatment. They did not recommend the $4 solution. They did not mention it. I am going to tell you why they did not mention it, and then I am going to tell you exactly what it is. In 1978, researchers affiliated with the National Roofing Contractors Association conducted a technical evaluation of biological growth inhibition methods for asphalt shingle surfaces. The study tested multiple treatment approaches, including pressure washing, chemical biocides, and metallic compound applications. The results for zinc-based treatments were unambiguous. Zinc sulfate and zinc oxide compounds applied to roof surfaces created an ionic barrier that was toxic to photosynthetic bacteria and moss at the cellular level. The treated sections showed zero biological regrowth over a 30-month observation period. The untreated control sections showed full recolonization within 14 months. The mechanism is straightforward. When rainwater contacts zinc, it carries dissolved zinc ions across the roof surface. Those ions are oligodynamic, meaning they are toxic to microorganisms at extremely low concentrations. Bacteria cannot develop meaningful resistance to oligodynamic metal toxicity the way they develop resistance to chemical biocides. This is not a new discovery. Zinc has been used as an antimicrobial agent in medical and industrial applications since the 19th century. The physics has not changed. The 1978 study was filed. It was not suppressed in a dramatic sense. Nobody burned the documents. Nobody issued a memo. What happened is considerably more mundane and considerably more effective. The study was filed, and the roofing industry continued doing what it was already doing: cleaning roofs, replacing shingles, signing homeowners to annual maintenance contracts. A $4 permanent solution cannot be sold back to you on a recurring basis. A roof that you treat once and do not touch again for 10 years does not generate service calls. It does not generate quotes. It does not generate the $1,200 to $3,400 national average that HomeAdvisor documents as the cost of professional roof cleaning and treatment. The absence of this information from residential guidance documents is not a conspiracy, it is an economic inevitability. Industries do not actively promote the thing that makes them unnecessary. What happened in the decades after that study is what I spent 38 years watching from the inside. Algae-resistant shingles emerged as a product category. Manufacturers began embedding copper granules into premium shingle lines and marketing them as the solution to biological growth. Those shingles cost significantly more than standard lines. They do work for approximately 10 years, until the copper concentration at the surface degrades below effective levels. Then you have an expensive roof with a biological growth problem and a manufacturer who has moved on to the next product generation. The structural principle that metallic ions inhibit biological growth on roof surfaces was never in dispute. The industry simply found a way to sell it to you as a premium product with a built-in expiration rather than as a $4 bag of powder with a 10-year effective life. I want you to hold that distinction in your mind for the rest of this video because it is the clearest possible illustration of how an industry converts basic material science into a recurring revenue stream. Here is the science in plain terms. Zinc sulfate is a water-soluble zinc salt. It is sold as a powder. It is available at agricultural supply stores, hardware stores, and online. The specific product used for roof application is sometimes marketed under names like Roof Moxie or Z-Stop, but the active compound is zinc sulfate monohydrate, and you can buy it as a generic agricultural fungicide for considerably less than branded roofing products. When you apply zinc sulfate powder to your roof along the ridge line, every rainfall event dissolves a small quantity of the compound and carries zinc ions in a thin solution film down the slope of the roof. That film covers the entire roof surface below the application point. The zinc ion concentration in that film is low enough to be environmentally safe and high enough to be lethal to Gloeocapsa, magma, moss, and lichen. Studies in the Journal of Building Physics have documented zinc ion concentrations sufficient for biological inhibition at dilution ratios that occur naturally in this kind of passive application system. You are not poisoning your roof. You are creating the same ionic environment that copper-embedded shingles create at the surface, using a compound that costs $4 and takes 8 minutes to apply. The application method matters, and I want to be precise about this because the most common failure mode I have seen is incorrect placement. Zinc sulfate applied to the middle or lower sections of a roof does not protect the sections above the application point. Rainfall moves downward. Your application needs to be at or near the ridgeline to ensure full coverage by runoff. The specific method is as follows. You need zinc sulfate powder, a dry day with no rain forecast for at least 24 to 48 hours following application, and either a handheld spreader or a simple cup. You do not need special equipment. You do not need protective gear beyond basic gloves and eye protection when handling the powder. You apply a band of powder approximately 3 to 4 inches wide along the full length of the ridgeline. On a standard residential roof, this takes between 6 and 10 minutes depending on the ridge length. You do not need to spread it evenly or work it into the surface. Rain will do that work for you. The first significant rainfall after application begins distributing zinc ions across the roof surface. Within 2 to 3 rainfall cycles, the distribution is complete. The biological inhibition effect becomes measurable within 30 to 60 days as existing colonies are exposed to repeated zinc ion contact. Full elimination of active growth typically occurs within 1 full wet season. I want to be direct about the limitations because I am not in the business of overselling anything. Zinc sulfate is an evaporative cooling system in the sense that it is a passive system dependent on rainfall for distribution. In extremely dry climates with infrequent rainfall, the distribution cycle is slower and the reapplication interval should be shorter. In humid climates with frequent rainfall, a single application along the ridgeline provides effective coverage for 8 to 10 years before reapplication is warranted. If your roof already has heavy established moss or lichen growth, zinc sulfate will inhibit new growth and eventually degrade existing colonies, but it will not physically remove what is already there. Established moss in particular has a root-like structure called rhizoids that penetrates shingle surface. Zinc treatment will kill the moss, but the physical removal of dead material requires either waiting for natural weathering over 1 to 2 seasons or gentle brushing. Pressure washing is not recommended on asphalt shingles, and I want to be clear about that. The granules that protect your shingles are not bonded to survive high-pressure water impact. A pressure washer will remove biological growth and a measurable percentage of your shingle surface simultaneously. Low-pressure rinsing with a garden hose is the appropriate mechanical assist if you want to accelerate removal of dead material after zinc treatment. The roofer who quotes you $3,000 for this problem will tell you several things. He will tell you that zinc treatments are not effective on your specific shingle type. Your specific shingle type is asphalt. Zinc sulfate works on asphalt. The material science does not have a carve-out for your particular brand of 3-tab or architectural shingle. He may tell you that the concentration from a ridgeline application is insufficient to reach the lower sections of your roof. This is demonstrably false. The same principle underlies the zinc strip systems that have been sold as premium roofing accessories for decades, and those strips are installed at the ridgeline. He may tell you that your roof needs to be professionally cleaned first and then treated. This is partially true, and partially a method of generating a cleaning invoice before the treatment conversation even begins. The cleaning is only necessary if existing biological mass is heavy enough that you want to accelerate its removal. The zinc treatment will work regardless. He will not tell you that what he is about to charge you $3,000 to perform is something you can accomplish in 8 minutes for $4, because that is not a conversation that ends with a signed contract. I spent 38 years watching this industry operate. I signed off on roofs that were replaced 15 years before they needed to be because the biological growth that was degrading them was never addressed at the source. I reviewed contractor bids that itemized treatments I knew were being performed with compounds available at any farm supply store, marked up by a factor of 40 or 50, delivered by a crew that spent less time on the roof than it takes to watch this video. I am not telling you that every roofer is dishonest. I am telling you that every industry builds its pricing model around the information asymmetry between the person with the expertise and the person writing the check. The moment you understand what is actually happening on your roof, that asymmetry disappears. The $3,000 quote becomes what it always was, a tax on not knowing. You now know. The powder costs $4. The application takes 8 minutes. The physics has not changed since 1978. Share this with someone who just got a roofing estimate. Subscribe if you want to know what else this industry is counting on you never finding out. The next thing buried is considerably more expensive than a bag of zinc sulfate.